Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the Real Cass Perry, and today we are going to be talking about somebody who I'm going to be completely honest, I used to be a fan of, but recent discoveries have made me not entirely as sure about whether or not I actually enjoy this person's content or not. Anyways, this person's name is Roma Army, or that is her online name. Her real name is Miss Chloe Sutherland. She goes by Chloe Roma, and she was born June 1st, 1997 in Bucharest, Romania, and she moved to Canada. That means that she is a Roma woman. Yeah. So am I. I don't make it a huge part of my entire personality, but cool. So, Miss Roma has been involved in quite a few different controversies, or a couple specifically that actually got her TikTok account deactivated for a little while. One of them being that she allegedly created a bunch of scam fundraisers. They were supposed to be benefiting men's rights, but according to viewers, she allegedly never donated any of the money that was donated to her specifically for men's rights and men's mental health advocacy. So yeah, cool beans. So another one that she has been involved with in the last little while is, for some unbeknownst reason, people keep digging into her personal life. Now, we're not entirely sure, but, well, actually we are sure about why they're digging into her personal life, because she keeps putting it on a line like the crazy person. Well, that's not really a crazy person thing. It's the fact that she's lying about things and then putting it online and just being completely erratic altogether. You need to be calm, collective, and just chill yourself the frig out, lady. Anyways, this woman has been using men's mental health as a ruse to continue her content and continue promoting her Patreon on YouTube, because her Patreon is full of a lot of different things that we will get into here shortly. So we're going to check out a couple of clips that she puts up. So we're going through her account. What you probably don't know about this talk is someone's wearing... Oh yeah. That is true.
It's also PTSD Awareness Month. It's also Scoliosis Awareness Month. And it's what you're doing right now is giving me a migraine awareness month.
Yes,
so
yes you
there are
can.
many things that can happen at once. So these things aren't mutually exclusive. You can still have Pride Month and Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And the funny thing is, gay men are also factored in on this too. Really? Oh my god. Women like you are the problem. The problem.
No, that's not what makes you the problem, honey.
Really? I'm what's wrong with the world? For pointing out that it's Men's Mental Health Month. Really? Oh, because what you're really saying is that you think it's unimportant, stupid, and mundane. And you're going to try to paint me as the problem to mask your sexism and hatred for men. There should be nothing wrong with pointing out the fact that just like it's Pride Month, it is also Men's Mental Health Awareness.
Of course not.
And in the description of almost every single one of those videos, I placed in there that the LGBTQ community is also at a high risk of suicide. So that's why it's important that both are recognized. But you didn't want to...
That's not why you're part of what's wrong with the world. The reason that you are part of what is wrong with the world is because you, Miss Roma, are a huge part of the problem.
Health Awareness Month is this month.
You are a part of the reason that men's mental health is as... You are part of the reason. Because you are on YouTube, and you have such a huge following on YouTube that you got from TikTok preaching all of this stuff about men's mental health and men's rights and just men's rights activism, which I'm going to be completely honest. I have always agreed with a lot of things that you have said about those specific things. The things that you have said about those specific things. But Miss Roma, there is something to be said about somebody who talks about men's mental health awareness and wants to try to figure out ways to have better mental health care systems in place for men, but also contributes to men's poor mental health by way of your Patreon, and you have them pay you for it. So you have a whole bunch of men online creating many parasocial relationships with you, and you're posting pornography and having men pay for it online, and there is nothing wrong with that. However, the fact of the matter is that you are using your body in order to get attention. You're always dressing inappropriately in all of your videos in order to get attention towards what you are saying. However, the fact of the matter is, what you're saying is also getting people's attention. And having more of that on to your Patreon, along with a whole bunch of not safe for work content, while you're preaching about men's mental health, and Snapchatting with many of your Patreon subscribers to give them specific content, and saying that that is how you express your femininity, and then coming out and saying that you don't do that anymore. It just seems a little bit over the top, because you're coming out and saying that you don't do that anymore. However, you've been having 50% off sales on your Patreon for the last little while, and there's a whole bunch of simps in your comments underneath of your Patreon giving little fire symbols, and then obviously going to your Patreon and requesting pornographic content, and you're sending it to them. And they're creating parasocial relationships with you. No. I'm sorry, but if you want to speak to your audience, do it in an appropriate way down in the comments section. Like most other creators. Start a Discord, do something, but do it appropriately. Especially since you're always on your TikTok. You're continually going online talking about how you disapprove of girls who do OnlyFans, but then you're posting extremely similar stuff on your Patreon, and or having paywalls blocking ways to contact you to have you send people that inappropriate content through your Patreon. Come on, lady. Like, oh look, literally running around in your brassiere. If I compared women to crocodiles?
Alright, but if I compared women to crocodiles by the masses, I would be misogynistic and fucked up, right? Even though the majority of children abused and murdered each year are abused and murdered by their mothers. But I could conveniently leave out that the majority of mothers don't do that to their children and just fearmonger all mothers by saying that they, in fact,
okay, no, your statement is not incorrect. However, the man versus bear theory doesn't hold up.
Your man versus bear
anyway.
theory still holds
It shouldn't
up?
even be man
Are we gonna
versus bear. It should
acknowledge
be
that 80% of
wildlife
men
versus
committing those
human.
violent crimes only take up
Because I'm
0.2%
sorry,
of
but
the
I would
population? Are we
personally,
gonna acknowledge that? Or are we just
based
gonna keep
on
pretending like men
encounters
ain't
with
shit?
wildlife I've had
Like,
and encounters with the many, many people that I have had, personally, I would always choose any wildlife animal over almost any person in the forest. Like, be it a person I know or a person I don't know. Because the fact of the matter is, and I hate to say it, but animals act on instinct. You can always trust an animal to act like an animal. And especially in my area, we don't have that many predators around here. We have black bears. Black bears are basically scavengers. It's a whole thing. They're basically more afraid of you than you are of them. Most black bear encounters, unless there's a cub or they're like extremely hungry, you're gonna make it out of it. I've encountered black bears a couple of times. It's not that bad. I would rather run into a black bear. That black bear is going to avoid me. I'm going to avoid other people if I'm in the forest because I don't know why that person's out there. I know why I'm out there. I'm not a mind reader. I know exactly why I'm out there. I'm out in the forest running around looking for wild edible mushrooms, or I'm out in the forest cutting down trees, or I'm going hunting, or I would be out in the forest trudging through the forest looking for abandoned structures specifically to film for you guys here on YouTube. So yeah, I know why I would be in the forest. I don't know why anybody else would be in the forest, which is why the man versus bear thing, it doesn't really hold up to me specifically because I have encountered wildlife in the forest, and I have also encountered people in the forest. Encountering wildlife in nature it is not nearly as scary as encountering people, because last time that I encountered a person while I was by myself in the woods, I was basically in my teens, and these three people yelled at me for about 20 minutes and tried to get into a crazy fight because I don't even really know. They started yelling at me, so I went over to go see what was going on, and they just got rowdy. I was just out for my evening walk. I learned not to walk on that specific trail anymore. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, the only thing that probably saved me that night was Becca Hartley. Well, yeah, actually, because this was a man and his sister, and they were sitting there screaming at me, and this wonderful, amazing woman just was no, what are you guys doing? Stop. Well, I'm just standing there you guys were yelling at me. Why? What's going on? Anyways, that was a whole thing. But yeah, I ran into a bear. The only thing that happened was I almost shit my pants because there was a bear right in front of me. Literally, that's all that happened. I made myself big, backed up, making whoop whoop noises, and ran out of the woods as soon as it was out of sight, screaming bear, making as much noise as possible. That bear probably ran away too, to be completely honest. Yeah, scared the crap out of my aunt's neighbors. That was a situation. That was also a situation, but it was a lot less of a situation. More me causing a panic than anything. Yeah, so Roma, Miss Roma does not spend any time with wildlife, obviously, but judging by the looks of her, I don't think that she has ever stepped foot in a forest in her entire freaking life. I don't think that she has ever seen a tree. The type of woman that looks like her, and I am not one to say much because I don't actually look like this on a regular basis. I do this specifically for videos for you guys, I don't normally look like this. I work on a fishing boat and out in the hot sun. I get covered in dirt on a regular basis. I'm a landscaper and a fisherman and a gardener. Yeah, there's eyes. Yeah, I don't always look like this. I am not. I mean, If I'm not working, yeah, sure, or if I'm not, like, actually out doing something, yeah, sure, but unless I'm on camera, pretty much, I don't look like this. I don't really give a shit about how I look unless I'm here with you guys, because I have to try when I'm here with you guys, because you're all so beautiful. Anyway, let's get back to the video. When you think your mom is finally okay with your job, and then she asks how much longer until you legally change your last name.
I'm not here to put down this young girl at all, because what I think she needs is support. But I think that camera falling at the end of the video was poetic, because it symbolizes the downfall that comes from being in sex work, being an actress mattress, doing not safe for work like I used to do. Like, there are real damages that come from this, okay? And OnlyFans models will sit online and be like,
it's this shit. Cash bonuses, that's called grooming where I'm from.
OnlyFans out here offering models a cash bonus for getting freshly 18-year-old girls to sign up for the website. Cash bonuses. That's called grooming where I'm from. And the thing is that the moment that girls start to talk about this shit, women always tell me that I'm just misogynistic, right? Other women on the internet, they will just simply say, sex work is not for me. And they'll say, well, you're just a part of the patriarchy. You're just sucking the patriarchy's dick. I couldn't even imagine if when I was a child and I saw a hooker on the corner, I said to my mom, hey mom, I want to be just like that. And she'd be like, you know what? I support you. They make a lot of money, you know. What the fuck? Hell no. You know, I remind you that is the same woman who said that she got 2 abortions and then got 2 dogs to compensate for that, and then had to sell pictures of her butthole in order to get a backyard for those dogs. Maybe it's time you start talking about the real...
Are you honest?
...of doing OnlyFans and sex work and being an actress mattress or not safe for work.
Are you honest with yourself, Miss Roma? Are you, though? Like, are you honest with yourself at all? Because it seems like you're judging yourself right now. Have you ever heard one finger points out at you and then there's 3 pointing back at yourself? How about your toxic behavior? Okay, let's see this one. I think women are changing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think women are changing.
Oh my gosh. Roma, you're too much. Because this should be any and every woman's response. And it actually kind of bugs me that you're so amazed by it, because I feel like you are one of the women who would be all like, I need a $15,000 ring. Like, come on.
I prefer the money to go towards something worthwhile than something that just sits on my...
This. Why do you want men to respectfully, collectively, to tell all women to go fuck themselves?
Men as a collective just respectfully tell women to go fuck themselves. No more opening doors, no more helping with car tires, no
I can't
jobs,
wait until they're all...
Nothing. Y'all want to go around the internet and say men ain't shit, we don't need them bone marrow babies? I
cannot be the only one who is looking forward to the day when all of the men collectively realize that you are just pandering to them and that you are insufferable nowadays. I used to agree with you so much. So much. Okay, and here is for... This is also a huge part of my issue with this lady. Just this segment that she goes into here. This one right here.
Here's one for the OG fans. I can't believe I'm doing this. Welcome back to No Dick, the segment that has nothing to do with controlling
Willie the One-Eyed Wonder Wiener.
It's actually about using discipline to make sure you don't get these 304s any Willie the One-Eyed Wonder Wiener. Let's go. If you're on a date with her and she suddenly said,
I mean, she can order it, but he doesn't have to pay for it. She can pay for it. She can pay for the extra food.
Another man's kids. There are amazing stepdads in this world, but that is going to be because you want to. Your choice, not because she feels like you're obligated to be the stepdad. Absolutely no Willie the One-Eyed Wonder Wiener.
There are guys who do that and say that stuff and act like that too.
I act this way because of my star sign. Boy, you better already be gone.
Now, the reason that I and or anybody else does have and or should have an issue with this has nothing to do with the segment itself. The segment itself is quite funny. However, it is a little bit demeaning to women, and it does sound like controlling women through mahexumal stuff, whether you mean to make it sound that way or not. However, the fact of the matter is that you started out on TikTok, and TikTok is a place where there are a lot of young ones, and there are a lot of kids on your platform specifically. You have a lot of, like, young ones, like 16 down to 12-year-olds on your page, and this should not be a segment. And I mean, I understand that your page isn't made for kids. My page is not made for kids. It's made for adults who use adult humor. However, I am saying that this type of behavior and such should not be put online in a place where kids are watching your channel. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no idea how old the people are who watch my channel. I don't really pay too much attention to it. However, if there are kids on here, you should probably either not watch my channel or go ask your parents if you are allowed to watch my channel and show it to them so that they know what you're watching. Just saying. However, I will also say I do love all of my viewers no matter what. I'm just very, very particular about parental guidance when it comes to my videos specifically, and everybody's videos. Your parents should always know what you are watching online. It doesn't matter. They need to pay attention to these things. That's just my 2 cents on this matter specifically. Okay. So, this. I find myself seeking validation. You're always seeking validation, honey. Otherwise, you wouldn't be half naked on camera.
Appearance, and I'm just gonna be honest about it. I won't hide it because I know the internet will be brutally honest with me. So my teeth have shifted. It's natural when you hit the age of 25, 26, as I am. And, it's created this gap in my teeth, and I'm very much about embracing like natural beauty, not getting into little cosmetic shit. But this is driving me crazy. So can I have some validation? Like, am I still pretty? No, but like for real, because I feel like it aged me 10 years, and I woke up my baby. My bad. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm sorry, what?
For the first time in my life, I find myself seeking validation about my appearance, and
making my 18-year-old medically ineligible. Blah, 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 blah. This is another segment of Cassie Can't Read. Making my 18-year-old medically ineligible if they restart the military draft. It's just a foot. What? Cutting off the boy's foot? That boy needs his foot. He needs his feet to walk. He needs feet.
She's crazy, but moms of boys
should never have this thought. No mother should ever have that thought. Wait, you did? You made his gender an X? Yes, you are. Especially if you're actually raising him gender neutral.
Should it ever happen, nobody's gonna come. Open up his pants and be like, oh, you got a vagina.
Nobody's ever gonna open up your child's pants anyway, you crazy bitch.
If you have sons of boys and you care about them.
And they're drafting women soon too anyway. What is wrong with this woman? When she used the G word. Okay. I can get over a lot. But this this is a fellow Roma woman. I can get over a lot, but I absolutely despise the word gypsy, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's a derogatory term. It is a derogatory term for Roma travelers. Do you know where that word actually came from? That word was created by European peoples specifically to describe the Roma travelers. It's literally came from the word gyp, meaning to steal or scam. Using the word gypsy, even as a self-descriptive term, in a public setting online, as somebody who is also one, that bothers the shice off. Just the fact that you're using that word online, because I absolutely hate that word. And the fact of the matter is that I also hate the fact that is one of the only things in life that I actually do hate, is that word. And I hate the fact that the only way that people to understand what you mean when you say that you are Roma is that you have to clarify the word gypsy. I can't stand it. That is literally a word that is used to segregate us from other Romanian people. That is a word used to criminalize us. That is a word that is used to label us as tramps and thieves. And you are dancing around on a TikTok using a derogatory term as a self-descriptive. And I mean, I understand taking it back, take back the power, like, other people, groups of people do that. But most of those people, unless it's an actual form of art, actually uses those words in a public setting. And the only reason that I am using this word is specifically to state how much I dislike the use of it. And yes, I understand. She's allowed to say it because she is one. I'm allowed to say it because I am one. But the fact of the matter is, we shouldn't be spreading that word as a self-descriptor to other people. We should be trying to educate other people not to use that word. And I know that Roma is never going to see this video. I know that it's never going to reach her. I understand that it's basically just a me problem. But seriously, the G word? Okay. Here's one more before I end this. The real reason men don't get help when they're injured. Go to the hospital.
Oh shit, I just cut the, I did cut the tip of my finger off. God damn it. Honey, get the ice pack. I was gonna
Stop crying, Timmy, or I'm gonna give you something to cry about. You're not a little girl, are you?
Well, could be because of that one thing that most little boys are used to hearing when they're injured. You know, the good old, stop crying, Timmy.
No, you're tough and strong.
You're not a little girl, are you? No, you're tough and strong. Yeah,
no, I think it's toxic masculinity. No, that's a... Okay, so first off, any mother who is saying that to their child, regardless of gender, is a terrible parent. Okay? And that is not what toxic masculinity is. That's just called... Men are stubborn sometimes. So are women. Women and men are both extremely stubborn in very different ways. And men just don't like to admit when they get hurt. And the number one issue when it comes to men's mental health, I'm going to state again, one of the biggest issues having to do with men's mental health is actually the fact that men tend to suppress their emotions and they tend to feel completely alone. And doing pornographic content on your Patreon, it's letting men be able to suppress their emotions and continually be lonely because they're not creating actual relationships with actual people. They're creating parasocial relationships with you, Roma. That's a bad thing. And I hate to say it, but it is. And it's kind of doing the opposite of the thing that you are preaching. And it's not alright, my dear. I'm sorry, but it isn't. And I wish that I didn't have to make this video because I have actually been a fan for quite a while. Like, I used to agree with a lot of different things that you say. I do agree with a lot of your points of view. I feel like this is a very sensitive topic for me to specifically talk about, just because I've thought very highly of her points of view and thought very highly of what I used to think that she was doing for advocacy for men's rights and men's mental health, and now I am starting to see the fairly downward spiral of the actuality of the situation, which is she's not actually advocating for men's mental health rights. She doesn't seem to actually care about men. She cares about their wallets. She cares about the guys who are going on to her Patreon and paying for her content and paying for her extra pornographic content. That's not okay. And this is one of the very things that you advocate for. Like, the very thing that Roma Army advocates for is men's mental health. This is where I'm going to end this off. And this is also one of the main reasons why I made this video. When you are advocating for men's mental health, the worst possible thing that you can do is create ways for them to be able to pay to create parasocial relationships with you and posting not safe for work content on your Patreon of you wearing very scandalous almost nothing and posting videos of you in corsets and such. It's not giving I'm trying to help men. It's giving, oh, I'm trying to advertise my Patreon and post corn content on my Patreon and disguise it behind the shield of men's rights and men's mental health advocacy. That's what it's starting to give me. And like I say, I have said many, many times throughout this video, I do agree with a lot of her views on men's rights and the fact that we do need a lot better mental health care for men. However, I don't agree with the things that she's doing under the guise of saying these things. I don't agree with the fact that she is constantly attacking OnlyFans models when she herself is selling the same types of not safe for work content, maybe not quite exactly the same as all of them, because most of them are actually getting, plowed, but I actually don't really completely know. I have not gone on to her Patreon because I do not consent to seeing her mustn't touch 'ems, whether they be covered a bit or not. I don't consent to seeing them. I have had people tell me exactly what is on there, and I am not interested in going to take a look. Apparently, you can even get her Snapchat and talk to her on there, which, by the way, Miss Army, I know you're never going to see this, but I'm going to say this directly to you anyway. Giving your fans your Snapchat and posting about your personal life quite often and putting up not safe for work content behind paywalls and things like that. These are great ways for men to create parasocial relationships. Now, one of the number one things that contributes to men's mental health is honestly, loneliness and suppressing their emotions. And like I say, if you're putting up not safe for work content and creating ways that they are able to create parasocial relationships with you, you are actually, honestly, you are part of the issue. You're part of the issue. You're one of the reasons that men's mental health isn't that good, because you're preaching that you want to help them, and then you're just shooting stuff off so that they have the ability to create parasocial relationships and watch porn all the time. They don't actually have to go out and meet people. They don't have to go socialize. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to find anyone, because you're there. Roma's always there. Anyways, I have to end it on this one, guys, because I can't. Every time I see the G word, I can't. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Mwah.